Hey, it's your girl KV back with another review for Real Housewives of Atlanta. Drew. So, season 16, episode 2, hot dogs and hot mics. Y'all see the fresh retwist? The fresh retwist. I'm joking. Okay. She be asking me what style I want. I'm like, girl, I don't know no style. Just throw a ponytail up there or something. Here's two. So, this episode starts with them talking about Drew's birthday party. Were you invited to this birthday party? And Patricia is like, well, I was invited. Dennis called me to come to her party, but I had already wiped my face off. I already washed my makeup off for the day, so I wasn't coming. But I saw the pictures the next day, and she just looked washed. You looked washed. She's like, me? I looked washed? Well, I didn't have any makeup. Production posts a picture. Face full of makeup. Drew says anything. Am I too tall? Drew says anything that pops in her head, y'all. Like, I really be like, Drew, what goes through your head when you be having these conversations? I feel like Drew just be, she be on acting mode. Drew just here and she's like, where's the script? Oh, there is no script. It's supposed to be reality. That's right. Okay, I got you. That's what Drew gives. She gives like she is on a set every day, a scripted set. Put her on the Beyond the Gate somewhere because Drew be getting on my nerves. But Portia was like, yeah, you looked washed. Like, no, not like you looked bad. It's like stress. You know, I know that divorce stress and you just look a bit stressed. And she's just like, okay. So that's when I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to call her. And Drew's over there. Dennis is my angel on earth. He means so much to me. I just don't know what I would do without my Lord and Savior Dennis for believing in me and my music when no one else did. You know, I told you LeBron to listen to my music when we dated, but he doesn't even listen to my music anymore. But Dennis believes in me, and I appreciate that. He is my angel on earth. And they're like, baby, you're not making it sound no better. You trying to convince us that y'all not dating? This ain't helping. And so Portia is upset at this point. You are a low down, dirty individual. Take one to know one. Now, a lot of people are relating Portia taking Simon from Fallon with this situation. Me personally, it's similar in the grand scheme, but it's really not the same, and I don't see it as the same. That's not saying that Portia wasn't low down, dirty individual for taking that lady husband, but it's just not the same. We all know that Portia and Fallon were not friends. They were testing that girl for the show. Portia would meet up at the club, take some pictures. Maybe they'd even ride together, but they weren't friends. Yeah, she was in that lady's house, so it was absolutely weird and off-putting for you to now be dating her husband when you was all up in her house. But like people brought up from that first go round, Portia was probably sleeping with that man when they filmed, because the way they went in for that fist bump instead of a hug, and the way Fallon was like, yeah, what she said, she was like, they're gonna renew their vows. And Tanya, the way Tanya bust out laughing, watching that back, it's like they were already dating by the time Portia went to that lady's house. You could tell. And a lot of people feel like, well, I ain't even gonna say a lot. Some people on the comments, on the YouTube, feel like somebody needs to question Portia about the whole Fallon and Simon thing. Me personally, I don't care about the questioning her. Now, you can remind her, throw it up in her face. Is this how Fallon felt? I wonder if that's how Fallon felt when you was walking around with her husband. Is that how she felt? Do that. Do that. But as far as asking her questions and making her answer questions about it, there's nothing else we need to know. We saw that when they went public, Simon and Portia, Fallon was over here pregnant by the assistant. So we see why she felt like she had liberty to walk on up in there and take that lady husband, because that lady was already sleeping with somebody else. It's clear. Portia still low down for you know, But sure, because you still walked up in that lady's house and left with her husband, regardless of if y'all was friends, regardless of if she was already cheating. But expecting her to just answer all these questions about it, it's just like, what else do we need to know? Portia did a whole show. She did a whole show trying to clean up the mess and tell her version of the story. What more do we think we're going to get from that? Go watch Portia's Family Matters and watch her play around with the narrative, if that's what you want. Now, we clearly see, and we're going to touch on this at the end of the episode, whatever the behind the scenes is of that relationship. That's why she don't want Dennis on film, because if Dennis starts filming and he starts filming with more and more people, okay, if Drew in the studio with Dennis, she invite, who was her girl? She invite Angela to the studio. Now Angela asking Dennis questions about Portia. So did she really, like, were y'all together when she started dating that lady husband? Or how did you feel when she posted that Mother's Day picture with you and that lady husband? Like, that's what Portia don't want. And who can blame her? I'm not finna give you a platform to come possibly trash talk me. I definitely understand that part of it. But we also know that Portia's motives are not pure. So back to the episode. She's sitting there talking crazy to Drew. You are a low down, dirty individual, right? And then she asks that, can I break the fourth wall? Yeah, can I break the fourth wall? Break it. Production, break it. We want the story too. She said that you trying to film with my baby daddy. And that's the real problem for me. Not even the fact that you out in the club with him, not that you working with him, but you're trying to film with my baby daddy. Drew was acting like she never tried to film with Dennis. Okay, who knows where the truth is. Drew also, this is what Portia said, Drew also had called production because she was doing a Go Naked hair photo shoot and she wanted production to be there for the photo shoot, but didn't call Portia to be there for the photo shoot. I'm with Portia on this one. You trying to set up photo shoots for my company? You are an influencer. Are you insane? Are you insane? I completely agree. People like, well, she an influencer. Influencers do this all the time. Da, da, da. Yeah, but they probably get the owner of the company to sign off on this to say, yes, I like that look. That goes with our brand. Or, ooh, I don't like that set. That's not really what we're trying to portray. It was weird for her to do a whole photo shoot or try to do a whole photo shoot and not tell Portia, but you telling production so that they can come film it. That's weird. Are you insane? But that's not what Portia's main problem is. Her main problem is Dennis, and we all know it. So Shamia is like, let's go eat cake. Don't y'all want to eat cake? Let's just go eat cake. Let's go eat cake. Y'all want to sing happy birthday? Y'all should sing me happy birthday. Let's go do that. Let's go do that. So they go downstairs and they get ready for the turn up, baby. Shamia done changed again. It's her third outfit change. She just got on like a simple little long black dress. And I said, is it a phone machine? 1, 2, 3. Wow. They jump in the pool. The foam is everywhere. They turking in the pool. Everybody jumped in except for Angela. She said, baby, my wig already lifted. I can't, I ain't finna push it. I said, dang, Angela. And everybody's having fun. We twerking, we in the pool. It looked like a real good time. Next, we see Angela at home. Her husband in the kitchen cooking. I said, all right now. She's sitting there with her 24-year-old, and they're talking about the party. Well, first, Angela tells us how she met her husband. They met 10 years ago where they exchanged numbers, but he never called her. It wasn't until 10 years later where she had moved into the neighborhood that he lived in where he really noticed her. I said, period. She said she's a self-made millionaire. I got myself in this neighborhood, and that's when you took me serious. I said, period. We love to see it. We love to see it. Not that there's anything wrong with people using their husband's money to get up, but we love to see when you can make it on your own. So, like, need you, baby. I want you. I don't need you. I want you. So, she kind of looked like Marlo to me, y'all. She looked like she could be Marlo's cousin or big sister or something. She kind of looked like Marlo to me. So, She's telling the daughter about what happened at the party. The daughter is like, so what happened? She's telling her everything. And of course she starts with, she harps on Drew and Portia, that situation. And she's like, but she's doing work with her ex. Ain't that scandalous? Ain't that scandalous? She doing work with her ex. How's that? He was like, you did too, didn't you? She was like, no, I mean, well. And I'm like, wait, what are we talking about? So then, he just kind of annoyed with the whole thing. You can tell he's a man's man. He's not really here for the television, but he seems like he's very much here for his wife. He's still, you can see that there's affection and there's love, even in how the conversation was going. When he didn't like what they were talking about, don't be talking about them. Let them talk about you. I said, all right then. I think I like Charles. So she was like, well, I know you better not be, trying to work with none of these girls, trying to film none of these girls. He said, I ain't working with none of them lames. Period, Charles. You ain't studying them lames. Period. So next we see the scene that we saw all the pictures from when they first filmed. Kenya and Portia having lunch. They pull up in their Rolls Royce. Kenya got on yellow. Portia got on pink and yellow. So they about matching. They're really kindred spirits. Somebody said they're tethered. I said they really are. They came on this show, season 5, together. They were the 2 new girls. And they actually came on when everybody was on strike. And it always struck me as something had to be happening because Portia's event, Kenya was the only one there. I'm like, why is it the new girl with the new girl? Why don't we care about these things? And then we realized the cast was on strike because they wanted more money or something along those lines. So that's why we saw a few scenes where it was just Kenya and Portia. So they're tethered. Their life storylines are similar. They both went through crazy marriages, crazy divorces. They both have daughters around the same age. And they're just really good now. They're just like, listen, Portia said, yeah, we started off, all types of crazy, but we all the same now. Why would we keep fighting? Period. Be friends, okay? Be friends. And so she tells her, yeah, girl, we had a good time. We had a good time after you left, girl. And we jumped in the pool and everything. She said, you pushed Drew in the pool? She said, girl, I ain't pushed Drew in the pool, girl. And she said, okay, I see you spinning the block with your Rolls Royce from your ex, your husband, girl. What's up with that? So they laugh about that a little bit. And then they talk about just the relationship as a whole. And Portia breaking up with Simon, trying to divorce Simon, right? So she's telling her the story about, when the moments that she thought things were fishy in the relationship, but she just didn't pay it any mind. One being they was in a private jet going somewhere and cops were surrounding the jet. I said, baby, that wasn't your first red flag. You just moved on past that. Stuff about a stolen car. She thought that she was the 4th wife. She really the 5th wife because there was a fake marriage that nobody knew about. I said, another fake marriage? Because it's given all of the marriages is fake. Because you're just trying to get your citizenship shot. So that was a cute little scene. I feel like they cut this scene, they sliced it so hard because we barely see Kenya respond to these things. It's like they're really trying to delete Kenya off this season if they could, but it's just the moments that they can't delete her from. So here we are. But I wish we would have got more commentary from Kenya. I'm really sad that we don't have confessional. It's like we're doing such a disservice. But we'll get there when we get there. Who is this? Oh. Yo, Gotti said Snapchat me that, and she did. Oh, child, if you know, you know. If you don't, we'll get there in the season. So, where we at? Yeah, Portia just telling him about everything with him. And then she talks about Drew and Dennis. Okay, well, does Dennis this music? She tells her that Dennis had did a children's album for PJ once. But past that, she don't really know of him doing music. Okay. So next we see Kelly. New girl Kelly. She's at a new location for her chicken and waffle spot. And then as a chicken and waffles. She said her first location was in Conyers, but her husband shut down that location. I said, was he the funding behind this, or was you just giving him access because he's the husband? I really want to know. She hasn't really gotten into it, but the fact that she said she's self-made? I don't think she said she's self-made. So that leads me to believe she probably did use some of his money as an investment, or, you know, maybe he did help her out with starting her companies. Let's go easy. So her current location is in McDonough. Like I said, he closed down the Colliers location, and then she's got this new location that she's trying to open up. I hate when people do this. She already had a date for the grand opening, but her project manager is like, baby, we are not going to be done. All the permits, the kitchen, the zoning, we're not going to be done by the grand opening date, but we'll see what we can do, right? She's a little annoyed by it. She wants the place done, yada, yada, yada. Like I said, we found out that her husband had closed a flagship store, and she said he only gives child support when it's court ordered. That's kind of trifling to do to somebody that you were married to and you have 3 children with. Like, you can give me more than court ordered stuff, because you know how much stuff costs over here. You know these kids take money. But, hey. Next we see nasally Sabrit. So, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Let's see if I can do it. It sounds like she always got a cold. It sounds like her nose is always stopped up. And I know, you know, sometimes I be on here stopped up, but that's like her regular voice. So, yeah, Brett is with her husband, and he barely seems to like her. Like, he just does not seem that all that much into her. He don't. So she is talking about they want to get some renovations done on the house, but he's like, why would we do all these renovations when we're trying to sell it? We wouldn't get our money back on all of these renovations. So no, we're going to reel it in just a bit, get the stuff that needs to be done, sell the house, go get a new house. So she's like, okay, so so do you want to have a baby before the new house or after the new house? Not like we have to. Not like we have to wait for the new house. He's like, have a baby. You ain't gonna have no baby. She's saying that she wants her mom to move in once they have a baby, but for some reason her mom is already there. Okay. She lets us know that she built her own insurance agency from the ground. That's how she met him. He was one of her clients. He was hitting her up, but she was like, I don't mix business with pleasure. But he just was persistent about it. So she caved and was like, let's go on a date, and been together ever since, right? So he's like, yeah, allegedly you gonna have a baby. Allegedly. I said, dang, allegedly she gonna have a baby. All right then. And they want to do IVF because he already has a son. She said he got a 15-year-old son. And they want a girl. So they're going to do IVF so that they can pick the sex. And so her and her mom are going down to the sauna. Are you coming to the sauna with us? No. Okay, I love you. And love is important. Love is important. Don't be embarrassing me on this TV. You better say you love me too. You better give me all the smooches. You better act like you love me. I said love is important. Okay. So next, y'all, oh my God, the next thing we see about had me in tears. We see Shamia goes to see Shadina, who was her surrogate for Shiloh. And she was Candy's babysitter, Candy's surrogate for Blaze as well. That's how they met. So Shadina has a surrogacy agency with Dr. Jackie called Surrogacy Miracles. So that's what she's going up there to see. She comments about, oh, your breast looks so good. Your new breast looks so good. Shadina was diagnosed with breast cancer at 32 weeks pregnant with Shiloh. And so with that, they had to deliver Shiloh immediately because the breast cancer was so aggressive. So Shiloh had to be born at 32 weeks, which babies are supposed to bake for about 40 weeks. About 40 weeks. So she was, what, 2 months early? 2 months early. Yeah. 32. Hey, yeah, 2 months early. Very sad. I started following Shamia around that time, and I would see that her baby had a lot of complications. She was in the NICU for a lot. She was at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. She had to have a lot of surgeries, and it was really sad to see. But Shiloh is doing good now. She's at home. I'm sure Shamia got a live-in nanny because somebody need to check on that baby round the clock. Okay, round the clock. We got the money for it. Shamia asked, was the onset of the breast cancer from the pregnancy hormones. She had some serious guilt about that, on if Shadina carrying that baby is what caused her to have breast cancer. Shadina lets her know that no, that's not what caused it, but it might have been what helped me because I probably wouldn't have been checking my breast as much. So it probably actually helped me. But in return, Shadina feels guilty because of Shiloh's complications. And she's like, well, was her complications due to my cancer or having to be delivered early because of my cancer? So it's really, it was just so touching. It was so touching to see them kind of go back and forth with that conversation and get their mind eased that they're not responsible for either Shiloh or Shadina's health complications. It just is what it is. So it was really nice to see. Because I had those questions too. I was like, okay, well, because I don't think I realized that Shiloh was born 2 months early. I just thought maybe Shiloh was born with some defects or something, maybe some mutations, versus just being born too early, maybe. Because I think it's like maybe she was just born too early, so that's where the complications come from, because everything wasn't formed, versus her having some type of mutations or defects. I have a little cousin. She's in college now, but she was born 3 months early, and she had to be in the NICU until she was like a certain age, a certain weight to be able to go home, and she was there for some time. So I definitely know that it could be brighter days on the side of Shiloh's complications and things. And she seems like she's doing good as a little baby. Anywho, we find out that Shamia she wants more children. She was pregnant recently, and it was an ectopic pregnancy. So she was feeling all these pains, took herself to the emergency room only for them to try to ignore her, like, your head ain't busted, and you ain't got no gunshot wounds. We'll get to you when we get to you. Only for her tube to rupture and blood went everywhere, and they were like, oh snap, let's get her back. Let's go ahead, treat her. And that's when she had the ruptured tube, ectopic pregnancy. But she said she had went through 7 rounds of IVF, and she has 4 embryos left. So I'm wondering was the IVF done before Shia as well? If Shia is an IVF baby, or if they had her naturally and then she did IVF for Shiloh and after. So she's got 4 embryos left, 2 boys, 2 girls. Some there in Atlanta, some are in LA. So they're working on finding her another surrogate so that she can have her next babies. Because they want more kids. Her husband wants more kids, and she wants to give it to him. So we see Kelly and Britt. Kelly has Britt and her dog Mimosa over. Kelly's dog's name is Cha-Cha, and that dog looks insane. Why would she do that to that dog? That is animal cruelty. That dog was purple with these crazy pigtails. I was just like, Kelly, you are 40 years old. Why you got your dog dressed up like you 12, 13, 14 years old? Like, that turned me off so bad. I know it's something real petty to judge somebody over, but that's turned me off so bad, for you to be a grown-up woman and got your dog like this. It annoyed me. It annoyed me. Meanwhile, Britt is looking like a porn star. She's got these little thin pigtails coming down. She got this shirt that's, you see how Beyonce covered? This what she was looking like. Beyonce looked more covered than what Britt was. She had this little thin spaghetti strap. It looked like if she bent down, that shirt was just going to roll down and expose the whole breast. I was like, why is she in here looking like a porn star? Then the harsh makeup lines. Like, you can see the hard delineation of concealer, foundation. It's like, we shouldn't see these hard lines like this. Like, you need to blend it some. And I was looking at other scenes and I'm like, wow, that's how she wears her makeup. Like, that wasn't a fluke. Like, that's how she wears her makeup. And I was like, baby, you need to blend them lines out. I'm not even all that great at makeup, but I know you're supposed to blend a little bit more than that. But she's still talking about how Kenya was like, where's your wedding band? You don't have a wedding band? Are you married? You need to worry about your divorce. You need to worry about your divorce. I was like, oh my goodness. So this is Brit setting the stage of, okay, you're actually might be the villain. You actually might be the villain. Everybody's like, Kenya's vindicated. We see how terrible Brit is already. Kenya's vindicated. Kenya's vindicated. So now Kelly talks about her divorce. Because remember when Shamia brought her over before the party to kind of tell her, I told Portia what you said, she admitted that she might be a little jaded from her own divorce and she's feeling away. So we already knew from the blogs that he was cheating and possibly beating on her. There was some physical abuse. She says that this man took $500,000 out of their business account. $500,000, and she had to file a suit to get it back. That's why I'm like, did he must have used his money for your businesses, and that's why he felt like he was at liberty to take that from you? Because I was very taken aback. Like, what? Trifling. Somebody posted them wedding pictures. Somebody posted them wedding pictures. And somebody was like, I see why she said she's been faking it, because just go on Twitter and look for Kelly's wedding pictures. That's all I'm gonna say. So next we see Drew. She's at the gym. We're finna drop it with Drew, y'all. She invites Shamia and Angela out to work out. Angela comes first. They do a little debriefing. They've been friends for a few years. They're both from Chicago and both got kids around the same age. She asked him, why are you working with him? Why are you working with him? Like, what? She's like, well, because he took my music serious and he also supports my marriage. It's not like he's trying to date me. He's friends with Ralph and he talks with Ralph and he just takes my music seriously. You know, I've worked with so many legends and they just don't put me first, and Dennis is willing to put me first. So I'm working with him. Now, in some regards, I understand what Drew is saying, because talent isn't everything. You can be the most talented person ever, but if your label ain't really paying you no attention, if they're not going to put out your music, if they're not promoting you, who's going to know that you exist? So she's feeling like maybe in her head, the way she's explaining it, Dennis has produced music and he wants to take an interest in mine and make sure that we do what needs to be done. I honestly don't see a problem with Drew working with Dennis. I really don't. The only problem I see is that she did it sneakily. Because it does seem like she did it sneakily. Because why wouldn't you call your friend up and be like, hey, girl, Dennis do music? Okay, because he said he finna produce my album. He pitched to my manager and it all sounds good. I just wanted to make sure you knew, you know. Not that I'm asking your permission. I just wanted to make sure you know. Cool. And that been done. I feel like they could have just let her know and been done. But the fact that you were the one begging her to come back to the show, for this to be what you got waiting on her, is giving, I'm about to fudge up a storyline. That's what it's giving, Drew. That's what it's giving. Speaking of Ralph, we find out that he is low down, dirtier dog than we thought. She put him first throughout the marriage, you know, maybe kind of put her career on the back burner, all for him to now want alimony, child support, and a percentage of her business. I said, wasn't Ralph supposed to be making money? I thought he worked in tech. He don't make no money. Why he after all your money? I said, okay, that's why he in the basement, because he was probably trying to get some money to get an apartment. And she was like, I ain't paying for nothing. You better go downstairs. It's a whole apartment down there. Your daddy home, go check. Okay, bye. So when Shamia gets there, this is why I'm like, oh, all the new girls are trying to have a moment. And she just, no, because her standing up for herself, because, okay, Angela turns to Shamia when Shamia gets there, and she's like, and I'm shocked that you inserted yourself, Shamia. I'm shocked because why did you, so what was the reason that you asked Drew that question? You asked Drew that question for Portia, huh? Are you asking Shamia this question for Drew? Like, this scene annoyed me so bad. Okay, so bad. Are you Portia's assistant? Are you her lapdog? Why you gotta speak for her? And but Shamia said, who knew she could speak? Because when Portia was on Drew's head at the party, she didn't say nothing. But now she calling her a lapdog. And I'm like, you're doing exactly what you're accusing Shamia of doing, but you're really going hard. So it's giving, you're the lapdog, babes. You're the lapdog. Because Shamia simply asked a question. Production could have told her to ask that question. Anybody, even if she was asking on Portia's behalf, that's her prerogative. She can ask whoever she want, whatever she want. But the fact that you're trying to come at her about being somebody's lapdog when you are literally doing the same thing for Drew, it was so weird to me. For all the people that feel like Portia is being hypocritical with the Drew and Dennis situation, you should absolutely see that Angela is being hypocritical about this. Calling me a lapdog when you are literally trying to attack me behind something that ain't got nothing to do with you. It's all about Drew. So I was like, oof. I thought I was going to like Angela, but I probably don't like Angela neither. I just don't like when people come on the scene and like do too much. Just play it cool. Just play it cool. Kelly might be my favorite, I suppose, right now. Because yes, she had her moment of being like, why you saw that girl husband? Why you saw that girl husband? But she wasn't aggressive with it. She wasn't like, you know, doing the most. She was just like, it just felt, like I said, it just felt like, girl, you a fan. You a fan that watched the show, that's asking questions off stuff that you've seen on the show. So that stuff be a little irritating. But yeah, let me finish this up, y'all. Ooh, I got a book club meeting. It is 5:45, y'all. Let me finish up this last thing. Lastly, we see Portia and Dennis are sitting down. Well, not sitting down. They at the playground, the little indoor playground with PJ. And Portia's telling him what happened. Yeah, Drew said that you were her Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And yeah, he's like, well, I used my pay for her music. And I'm like, did you write the songs? I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding what he meant by that. So she's like, well, Drew was saying something completely different. She was saying something completely different. I'm like, no, she really wasn't. She was saying what she always, what exactly she said. Like, she was doing a lot. Oh, he's my angel on earth. Oh, he's so wonderful. But she didn't say nothing past them doing music. So Dennis is like, listen, it's album promo. Like, why are you, she's like, on my show? You want to promote her album and you want to come on to film on this show, on my show? She gets, I just don't understand why I can't get no loyalty out of nobody. Because you ain't loyal. Why you want out of people what you don't give to them? You tried to jump that man and his mom. You did jump that man and his mama. You was snatching production equipment. You grabbed the boom mic and tried to take them people out, Portia. I will never forget. She was about to beat the brakes off that boy mama. Had your whole family jumping on them. Like, that's why she don't want him on the show. She's in the bathroom crying. She tells production that she don't want for them to fall out. And then he has a platform to trash talk her. I said, I completely get it. As childish as it is, I completely get it. Because Portia's trying to hide stuff. She's trying to control the narrative. She don't want nobody to pull Dennis to the side and be like, dang, she really tried to jump you and your mama. Dang, she really was parading Simon around you and PJ like this. Dang, she really did this. Dang, she really did that. They not trying to, she don't want that to happen with Dennis. And I'm sure it would happen if he has the opportunity to film for a bit. So I kind of get it, but it's still Girl, get over it at this point. But I get it because Ru's supposed to be your friend and she withholding this type of information while still trying to get you on the show. Scandalous. So now they're driving off. They're in the car discussing this in front of PJ. And then she starts weaponizing PJ. Just know that how you move is going to affect your daughter. It's going to affect Pilar. I said, how? Because you? It would affect you and you would let it trickle down to PJ? Because what this got to do with PJ? If he filming with Drew because they in the studio working, what they got to do with PJ? That's not affecting PJ. That's not affecting PJ. Now, if he went on to trash talk you when you fall out, then that would affect PJ. But just his presence to be around Drew on camera, that ain't affecting her. So everybody is on Portia's head, clearly, obviously. But, child, that was episode 2, Hot Dogs and Hot Mics, child. Like I said, this is a show. I'm going to shoot my shot this week. I'm going to shoot my shot at some YouTubers and see if anybody wants to do a panel because this is just discussion-worthy TV. There's so many sides to take. Like, a lot of the times on TV, there's, I ain't gonna say there's a clear right and wrong, but you usually see, like, where most people will lie or they have their favorites, so that's where they're gonna skew. But with this one, it's like, we have so many different opinions from people to people, from season to season. It's interesting. So I definitely want to do a panel with some folks. And wish me luck, y'all. Subscribe to my channel. Like the video. Share the video. Comment and let me know what y'all think about the video and the episode. Until next time, y'all. Bye-bye.